Ubisoft is in a class action lawsuit, and I can't even count at this point how many different things have been happening to this company over the last 12 months. I don't even think it's going to make it another 12 months. You have Skull and Bones, a quadruple A game, the first quadruple A game that came out was a quadruple pack of dog ass. After Skull and Bones, you have Star Wars Outlaws, a mediocre experience that follows the same bland but Ubisoft, I almost said Bethesda, Ubisoft formula that we have been seeing in every game for the last decade at this point. Their stock is down over 80% over the last couple years, to the point where it's so low, it hasn't been this low since Rainbow Six Siege first came out and finally started a little bit of a resurgence. Their stockholders are completely turning on them, wanting new leadership in the company, wanting good games because they haven't released a good game in an entire decade. Then you have Assassin's Creed Shadows, just got delayed, has a ton of controversy surrounding Yasuke being a samurai, has a ton of controversy surrounding the one-leg Torigate figures that they did, which made them pull out of the Tokyo Game Show, putting Chinese architecture and music into the game when it's a Japanese game, completely slapping all of them in the face, putting hip-hop music over Yasuke fighting, which is an insane creative choice, and last but definitely not least, Ubisoft might be getting bought out. There's an investigation on where these games took such a turn right now going on in the company, and there is a potential buyout looming over Ubisoft. And now there's a class action lawsuit, so let's get to that. Here is the article on Game Rant titled Ubisoft Targeted in Lawsuit Also Involving Meta. This is by Dominik Bozjak. I have no idea how to say your name, brother. I'm sorry. But going into this, Ubisoft has been targeted by a class action lawsuit revolving around unauthorized data sharing practices. The complaint alleges that Ubisoft shared personally identifiable information with Meta platforms in violation of several US laws. What do you guys know? Meta is in the woods for personally identifiable information being shared. We've never seen this one before. Going on, public awareness of data privacy concerns has increased in recent years. Like the rest of the wider tech sector, game developers and publishers are nowadays consistently finding themselves scrutinized over their user data policies. And honestly, they should. I think data privacy right now in 2024 is the most important it's ever been. And if you are going to be sharing people's data and not letting them know you're sharing their data, it's a problem. So going forward here, lawsuit alleges Ubisoft unlawfully collected and shared user data. What do you know? In yet another testament to this trend, Ubisoft has been recently found itself on the receiving end of a class action lawsuit centered on its data sharing practices. The complaint filed in the U.S. District Court of the Northern District of California alleges that the company unlawfully collected and shared personally identifiable customer information with Facebook owner Meta Platforms. The plaintiffs, who initiated the lawsuit, claim that this was done using Pixel, Meta's analytics tool for tracking the effectiveness of ad campaigns. By feeding customer data collected through its website to Pixel, Ubisoft shared it with Meta's wider advertising network without an explicit consent of the people whom the information belongs, the complaint reads. So basically, on Ubisoft's website, they are sharing their data through the website to Pixel or using Pixel, and then that data is going over to Meta and their larger advertising resources and platforms, etc. That is basically what I am gathering is happening right here. Now, they also put the entire lawsuit down here, which is very good. They reviewed the whole thing. Game Rant reviewed the whole thing before they did this entire article. So if you guys want to see this, go on this Game Rant article. You can read through the specifics of the lawsuit right here and not a regurgitation in article format. But going forward here, Ubisoft is also accused of violating wiretapping laws, according to an October 3rd court filing reviewed by Game Rant. This lawsuit also alleges that Ubisoft's Pixel usage resulted in violations of state and federal wiretapping laws, including the Video Privacy Protection Act and Wiretap Act. Specifically, the plaintiffs argue that the knowing sharing of their personally identifiable information with Meta platforms constitutes unauthorized interception of electronic communications, which is explicitly forbidden under the aforementioned legislation. The legal argument is similar to the one used in the 2021 wiretapping law against Intel, which has yet to be resolved, and I think that is important because going forward, this is probably going to take a long time before it actually actually gets resolved for Ubisoft. It might just go down to a normal personal lawsuit instead of a class action. We'll have to see how it goes. But looking here, what they said, the defendant does not disclose on the website that users' personally identifiable information would be captured by the Meta platform's tracking pixel utilized by defendants and then transferred to Meta, thereby exposing the subscribers' personal identifiable information to any person of ordinary technical skill who received that data. So like we said, you are disclosing by going on Ubisoft's website, I'm assuming by buying their games or buying the subscription for Ubisoft Plus, you are exposing all of your information to Meta, and through that you are exposing your information to a multitude of different resources at Meta's disposal, including pretty much all of their advertising network. That's what it seems like is happening here. According to the complaint, any U.S. citizen who ever purchased a game directly, here it is, right here, ever purchased a game by Ubisoft or paid for a Plus membership, since the company started using Pixel, had their data unlawfully shared with Meta, and this class action seeks monetary and injunctive relief. I'm guessing the injunctive relief is, the litigation also demands additional remedies meant to ensure Ubisoft is prevented from repeating these alleged privacy violations in the future. So if they do win this lawsuit, not only are they going to get monetary damages and they're going to get money from this, but Ubisoft is also going to be responsible for changing how they do their data sharing. They're going to probably have to put something in terms of service. Now, is anyone going to read that? I don't know, but the point is you need to have that in there in the first place if you're going to be sharing this data with outside sources and not explicitly saying so. Going into the last article here, the timeline for the case of this nature involves up to 3 months for filings and responses, 6 to 12 for discovery, and up to a half year of hearings, and 3 to 6 months for trial preparation and trial. So yeah, this is going to be like potentially 3 years. That's without taking the competent court's workload into account. So yeah, with more significant gaps, that might be even 4 years. Ubisoft attorneys will likely want to see if there's any basis to be relegated or thrown out to a regular lawsuit. That's what I mentioned a little bit earlier, instead of a class action one, potentially even pushing for arbitration. Okay, yep. Assumed so. The case itself adds to Ubisoft's recent string of struggles. This is the most important part, which largely stem from some underperforming game releases. And yes, a lot of people might care about this, but most people won't. This last sentence is important because this is another nail in the inevitable coffin of Ubisoft, and they can't get a break. They cannot get a break. I just want to highlight again how many things have happened to Ubisoft over the last year. If you look at the start of my video, I outlined a ton of different controversies they've been through. And then, now they're on this lawsuit, and that's not even to mention all of what's happened over the last 10 years of them completely just going down and underperforming over and over and over and over and over again. I don't even think Ubisoft is going to be around for 1 to 2 more years. I think it's over for them. I think this buyout's probably going to happen. A lot's going to have to change. And it's sad. It is definitely sad because there are a lot of great properties by Ubisoft. There are a lot of great properties that Ubisoft has under their coattail, and they'll never explore these in a good and meaningful way again. So I'd rather almost at this point leave those alone. Unless the next Assassin's Creed game in February comes out and is an absolute banger, the biggest banger since Black Flag, Ubisoft is done. This might not be the nail in the coffin with them sharing their data with Meta. I don't think enough people are actually going to pay attention to this or care about this, even though I do genuinely think data sharing is a relatively huge deal, especially in this day and age. But if that next game comes out, and that's what people really care about, do they have good games? If that next game comes out and it is not the best Assassin's Creed since Black Flag, Ubisoft is done. And guess what? It's not going to be the best Assassin's Creed since Black Flag. So, like the video. If you guys like the video, make sure you comment down below what you guys think about Ubisoft sharing this data, what you guys think about data sharing policies in general in today's day and age. Also, are you guys excited for upcoming Ubisoft games? Do you think Ubisoft is going to fail here within the next 1 to 2 years? Let me know what you guys think down below. Subscribe to the channel if you like videos like this. I cover gaming news, I do some gameplay, and I'm probably going to be streaming Dragon Ball Sparking Zero when you're watching this video, or at least later today. So, I love you guys. Really appreciate you guys supporting the channel over the last couple weeks. It's been a lot of growth, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!